I'm about to give you a 20-day challenge. 99% of you will not do it. The 1% who genuinely desire change will make a decision today. And they will do this challenge that will change everything. You will read this entire thing. You will nod your head. You will think this is a good idea. And most of you will then do absolutely nothing. Not because the challenge is hard, but because it will force you to face something you have been avoiding your entire trading career, the gap between who you say you are and who you actually are when money is on the line. Most of you cannot handle that truth. Let me prove it to you. Today, I am going to challenge you. Here is the challenge. For the next 20 days, you are going to do two things that terrify you. First, you are going to find one person in your life who is not a trader, a friend, a family member, a partner. Someone you trust, but someone who knows nothing about trading. And you are going to tell them you need a witness. Every morning or evening before you trade, you are going to send them a message. Today, I will follow my rules. Today, I will not move my stops. Today, I will risk only 1% per trade. Whatever your rules are, you write them down and you send them. Every evening after you finish trading, you are going to send them another message. Today I followed my plan completely, or today I broke my rules 3 times. With screenshots, with proof. They will not judge you. They will not give advice. They will simply see the truth. You are going to use them like a journal. Using a real person as your journal will change everything. Second part. Every time you break a rule, you pay a penalty. Sometimes you do not really feel that your mistakes have consequences. It feels like we are losing virtual money, like something imaginary. So every time you break a rule, you will pay real money, not from your trading account, from your pocket, from your bank account. $50 if you can afford it, 20 if you cannot, 200 if 50 does not hurt. The amount must be significant enough that it actually bothers you. You need to feel the seriousness of this. And you do not keep this money. You donate it to charity. You screenshot the donation. You send it to your witness. This is not about punishment. This is about making rule-breaking expensive in a way your brain actually processes. You need to pay a price. Because right now, when you break a rule and your trade loses, your brain files that under market loss. Abstract. Forgettable. Happens to everyone. But when you break a rule and you have to pull 50 actual dollars from your wallet and give it away, your brain files that under I did this to myself. Concrete. Painful. Avoidable. And this way your brain will learn and internalize how important following rules is. Most people will find doing this exhausting. They will take refuge in excuses. But if you need to change and you are in that 1% who will perceive this as a challenge, please do this. Every time you break a rule, donate to charity. 20 days. External accountability plus real consequences from 2 things you will do. That is the challenge. And I already know what you are thinking. This is extreme. This is unnecessary. I do not need someone watching me. I can hold myself accountable. And that is exactly why you will not do it. Because you have been holding yourself accountable for months or years, and your account is still not where you want it to be. Why do you think that is? You lie to yourself every single day and you do not even notice anymore. But lying to another person? That is harder. Paying actual money from your pocket for breaking your own rules? That hurts differently. If you need to grasp the seriousness of this, this will work. Trust me. And you are terrified of both. So these will not just increase the probability of being disciplined, they will force you to be disciplined. Let me explain why this works and why it terrifies you. You trade alone, in a room by yourself, with your thoughts, with your justifications, with your rationalizations. Whatever we do, when we trade, we can explain it to ourselves by dressing it up with logical reasons. When we are alone in our room, we have learned to bend reality. You moved your stop, but you call it adapting to market conditions. But this is a lie. You revenge traded, but you call it taking the next valid setup. Your plan said 1%, but you risked 3%, and you tell yourself it was a high probability trade. You have created a private world where your mistakes have comfortable explanations. And as long as that world stays private, you can maintain those explanations. You can stay comfortable. You can avoid the truth. We are going to change this. And you probably did not like this idea. Most people will not. And whether you like the idea or not has no importance. Are you part of the minority who will take action or not? That is what matters. I am going to be abundantly clear with you. I have traded for years. I have violated rules. I have been undisciplined. I have made a lot of money and lost a lot of money. I can say this very clearly. If you are trading alone in a room as if your entire life depends on it, and your life consists only of this, I have good news and bad news for you. The good news is this: you will develop and learn incredibly. You will notice things no one else notices. Life will reward you for the time and energy you give. You will develop your own strategy. You will hear the breaths of the pair you are trading. You will move to a different level, a level where people on Twitter will not really understand you. But the bad news is this: you will not be profitable. Even if you see incredible things, discover strategies, predict movements, you will not be sustainably profitable. So why? Because the person you are to build your trading career will give you this information, but the person who is profitable and consistent is someone different. And after gaining these strategies and insights, you must become that other person if you want to be profitable. So this challenge is designed exactly for this. You must now leave your old life behind. You have learned everything you needed to learn. You will keep learning, do not worry. But you do not need to focus on that anymore. Focus on your profitable version, and let your life not consist only of one room and trading. Including someone else in the process is very uncomfortable, and that is exactly why it will change you. Donating for every rule violation can be costly, and that is exactly why it will change you. Whether you like it or not, you need to do it. Because the moment you bring another person into that world, everything changes. Not because they know anything about trading, but because they know about honesty. When you send them a message in the morning saying, "I will risk 1% per trade," and then send them a screenshot in the evening showing you risked 3% on 2 trades, they do not need to understand risk management to see you broke your word. When you tell them you will not revenge trade and then admit you took 4 trades in 30 minutes after a loss, they do not need to be a trader to know you did exactly what you said you would not do. Their presence destroys your ability to rationalize. It puts you face to face with reality, and this will make you very uncomfortable. You need this discomfort to change, because without this, you will not change. Because the gap between your morning promise and your evening reality becomes visible. And once it is visible, you cannot ignore it. You can no longer deny it. And this is very important. We are not trying to make the hard easy. I am just telling you 2 methods to fix some things that stall your process or keep you in the same cycle. These cycles can happen to everyone, and how long they last depends on the person. I still break rules occasionally, but maybe a few times a month, and considering my trading frequency, this is very little, and this usually happens to me when I have had several very good trading days. And I have experienced this so much that now I know very well the ways to get through it with minimum damage. So this is actually an approach focused on reducing rule violations rather than completely eliminating them, because that is the realistic approach. Because we are human. Do not expect yourself to trade like a robot, because you are not software. If you believe you should be and expect that from yourself, you will be more disappointed. So you need to be realistic. The reason most of you will not do this challenge is very clear. Not because finding a witness is hard, not because $50 is too much. You are not ready to see yourself clearly. This requires courage, and most people will postpone this. But the only result of postponing the inevitable is wasted time. And maybe this is necessary for you, but maybe it is not. So do not postpone. You prefer to stay in the private world where your mistakes have explanations, where you can tell yourself you are disciplined even though the evidence says otherwise, where you can believe you follow your rules even though you constantly break them. Bringing in a witness destroys that world, and most traders choose comfortable delusion over uncomfortable truth every single time. Now let me walk you through exactly how this works step by step. Day 1. Before you place a single trade, you find your witness. You explain what you need. I am doing a 20-day trading challenge. I need you to receive 2 messages from me every day. One in the morning with my plan, one in the evening with my results. You do not need to respond. You do not need to say anything. I just need you to see. Most people will say yes. This is not a big ask, just 2 messages a day. But choosing who to ask is hard, because you need someone whose opinion you care about. It must be someone important to you. It could be your girlfriend or your wife or a very close friend, because if you do not really care what they think, their witnessing means nothing. So you need to pick someone who matters. That is the first uncomfortable moment. Admitting to someone that you need help, that you cannot do this alone. Most of your egos will stop you right here. As long as you let your ego be in the driver's seat, experiencing the same cycles will be inevitable. But you can fix this with this challenge. Day one morning, you write your plan, and this is where you realize you might not actually have clear rules. You thought you did, but when you try to write them down in a way someone else can verify, you realize how vague they are. I will only take good setups. That is not a rule. That is a feeling. I will follow my strategy. What strategy? Can you write it down in 3 sentences? Most of you cannot. So day one forces clarity. What are you actually committing to? Write it, send it. Now it is real. This is the beginning. Day one evening, you review your trades. Did you do what you said you would do? Yes or no? If yes, you send that message with proof. Screenshots of your trades showing you followed your plan. If no, you send that message with honesty. I broke my rule. I moved my stop on trade 2. I revenge traded after my first loss. And then you pay the penalty. You donate. You screenshot. You send proof. Your witness sees all of it. The plan. The break. The consequence. And something happens that has never happened before in your trading. You feel genuine accountability. Many of you may feel tired listening to these, may feel lazy about doing them. But we cannot have some things without paying some prices. If life is demanding more from us, we must show we are willing to do more. So see this challenge as an opportunity, not extra workload. You becoming a consistently profitable trader is inevitable. I genuinely believe this. Since you have watched this far, I can even say I am sure you will achieve this. But what is not clear is this. When? Maybe in 6 months, maybe next week, maybe in 5 years. We do not know this. As long as you keep postponing the inevitable, this time will extend. So act like the person you need to be and take this challenge, and apply it properly. Come and share your results with me. If you found it illogical, share that too. I read and respond to all kinds of comments. I want to be a trade buddy with you on your trading journey. If you need that too, I am here for you. Let us continue. This is the part most of you cannot handle. That feeling when you have to admit to another human being that you broke your own rule. When you have to screenshot a $50 donation because you could not control yourself. That shame you feel is not weakness. That is your ego finally being held to the standard you claim to have. And your ego hates it. Your ego wants to make excuses. Your ego wants to explain why moving that stop was actually smart. But you cannot, because the rule you sent this morning was clear, and the break you are reporting tonight is undeniable. There is no gray area anymore. There is no room for rationalization. You either did what you said, or you did not. And your witness knows which one. Days 2 through 7 are brutal. You are not used to this level of honesty. Every morning you send your plan, and you feel the weight of it. This is not a private journal you can ignore. This is a promise to another person. Every evening you review and you feel exposed. Some days you follow your plan and the relief is real. You get to send that message saying, I did it. I followed every rule. And for once, that actually means something because someone else saw you say it. Other days you break rules and the shame is sharp. You pay penalties. You watch money leave your account not from trading losses, but from your own lack of discipline. And that hurts in a way trading losses never did. This is where most of you will quit. Somewhere between day 3 and day 7. You will tell yourself this is stupid. You will say the challenge is not realistic. You will decide your witness does not really need to see all this. And you will stop. Not because the challenge is too hard, but because the truth is too uncomfortable. You prefer to go back to trading alone where you can lie to yourself in peace. And that decision, that moment when you quit, tells you everything you need to know about why you are not profitable yet. But let us say you make it past week 1. Days 8 through 14, something shifts. You start planning your trades more carefully because you know you will have to report them. You start following your rules more consistently because breaking them costs real money. Not market money. Your money. The money you would spend on dinner or coffee or whatever. And losing that hurts more than losing a trade because you cannot blame the market for it. You can only blame yourself. Your witness has not said a single word. They are just receiving messages. But their presence is changing your behavior. You are trading differently when someone is watching. Not better strategy. Not better analysis. Better discipline. Because discipline is the only thing that matters when someone can see whether you did what you said you would do. Days 15 through 20 are where the real transformation happens. If you make it this far, you have created a new normal. Accountability is no longer uncomfortable. It is just how you trade now. You send your morning plan without thinking about it. You review your evening results honestly. You pay penalties when you mess up without fighting it. And something remarkable happens. You start breaking fewer rules. Not because the rules got easier, but because the cost of breaking them became real. Every time you think about moving that stop, you see your witness. You see the $50 donation you will have to make. You see the message you will have to send admitting you broke your word again. And suddenly holding the stop does not feel as hard. Accountability and consequence work together. One makes your actions visible, the other makes your mistakes expensive. And together they create something you have never had before. Actual discipline. Day 20. You look back at the data. How many days did you follow your plan completely? How many rules did you break? How much money did you pay in penalties? And here is what you will find if you are honest. The days you followed your plan completely, your trading probably looked better. Not because you won every trade, but because you executed with clarity. You did what you said you would do. The days you broke rules and paid penalties, your trading probably looked chaotic. Emotional decisions, revenge trades, stops moved. When you see 20 days of data, the pattern is obvious. Discipline correlates with better outcomes, not perfect outcomes, better ones. And the only thing that created discipline was knowing someone was watching and knowing mistakes cost real money. Now here is the part that will make you angry. This challenge does not teach you anything new. You already knew you should follow your rules. You already knew breaking them was destructive. You already knew discipline mattered. The challenge does not give you new information. It just forces you to face information you were avoiding, that you are not as disciplined as you think, that you lie to yourself constantly, that you need external pressure to do what you already know is right. And most of you hate that truth so much, you will refuse to do the challenge just to avoid confronting it. Let me be clear about what this is not. This is not about finding the perfect strategy. This is not about learning new technical analysis. This is not about market conditions or win rates or risk-reward ratios. This is about one thing only. Can you do what you say you will do when someone is watching and when breaking your word costs you real money? That is it. That is the entire challenge, and 99% of you will say no. Not out loud. You will not admit you are refusing. You will just quietly not do it. You will tell yourself you will start next week. You will say you need to find the right witness first. You will decide your rules need to be more refined before you begin. And weeks will pass, and you will never start. Because starting means admitting you need this, and your ego cannot handle that admission. So here is my final question. Are you actually going to do this? Right now, today. Are you going to find a witness, write down your rules, and commit to 20 days of brutal honesty and real consequences? Or are you going to close this, think it was interesting, and go back to trading exactly the way you always have? I already know the answer for most of you. You are too afraid, not of the challenge, of what the challenge will reveal. That the only thing standing between you and consistent profitability is your unwillingness to be truly accountable. Your witness is waiting. Your wallet is ready. Your ego is terrified. Which one wins?